chalo weushai chibeshita nobushi ukapwa wemonina nobenkashi chishimu lolela weusha ichibe nobushi ukapwa tukonge kuli Yesu tukonge kuli Yesu iwenga washa Mwashirukeni mwechilongani no? Mwavuka shani? Mwavuka shani mwechilongani? Amen. Watotela. Inonshita ya luchelo na alafu haya kuti tukosele shani mchego chakwa shukuru elio twala kwata kwenda mwilembo ilikaya ile mbweli aishirikwa bwino sana. Maybe pano ndineka I can't affect anyone ama droplets yanjai. So ni bit na afunyako. Ile mbotwala bonfia, it's a very common text. Elio fintu nomba fya lichinja new normal. So in this new normal, I'm also trying to become a teacher and not a preacher. If you have observed, there are a little bit of some change at the level in this new normal. I even started keeping beards in the new normal. So, maybe before we dive in the word of the Lord, shall we pray? Our gracious, loving Father in heaven, we invite you to be in our midst now, even as we open this your holy word. Give us the right mind and give us the interpretation needed. We need you in Jesus' name. Amen. John chapter 5. John chapter 5. Very common passage. How to interpret the Bible, how to understand the Bible in this quarter. So what I'm going to do, I'll read the all 18 verses for the context. I'll read all 18 verses for the context. After these things, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there in Jerusalem, by the sheep gate, a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. In this lay a multitude of those who were sick, blind, lame, and lepers, waiting for the moving of the waters. For an angel of the Lord went down at certain seasons in the pool and stirred the waters. Whosoever then first, after the stirring up of the water, stepped in was made well from whatever disease with which was affected. A man was there who had been healed for 38 years. When Jesus saw him laying there, and knew that he had already been a long time in that condition, he said to him, "Do you wish to get well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no man to put me in the pool when the waters is stirred up. But while I am coming, another steps down before me." Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat, and walk." Immediately, the man became well and picked up his mat and began to walk. Now it was the Sabbath on that day. So the Jews were saying to the man who was cured, "It is the Sabbath, and it is not permissible for you to carry your mat." But he answered them, "He who made me well was the one who said to me, 'Pick up your mat and walk.'" Verse 12. They asked him, "Who is this man who said to you, 'Pick up your mat and walk'?" But the man who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had slipped away while there was a crowd in the place. Afterward, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "Behold, you have become well. Do not sin anymore, so that nothing worse happens to you." The man went away and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had made him well. The man went away and told the Jews that it was Jesus who made him well. For this reason, the Jews were persecuting Jesus, because he was doing these things on the Sabbath. Verse 17. But he answered them and said, "My Father is working until now, and I myself am working." My Father is working until now, and I myself am working. That is the word of the Lord. But I'll shift your attention to verse 6 of this passage. When Jesus saw him laying there and knew that he had been a long time in that condition, he said to him, "Pick up your mat and walk." Now this is the Gospel of John. John, he was one of the disciples who saw what Jesus did, who walked with Jesus, talked with Jesus. They ate together. And when writing this, John had something in his mind. He's presenting Jesus as God in the flesh. John has this in mind, presenting Jesus as the great physician. The Bible says, after these things, Jesus went up to Jerusalem. And there in Jerusalem, there was a pool of Bethsaida, where people who had issues went. People who were desperate in life went, sitting at the pool, waiting for healing, because it was believed that at a certain time an angel of the Lord will come down and steer the waters, and everyone that steps in first will get healing. If you have a Bible like the one that I have here, NIV, and these modern versions, you discover that verse 4 is not in your Bible. How many have seen that? The Bible that you are not reading. That's the problem. How many have NIV here? Those that have NIV version here, raise up your hand. How many have ESV? How many have KJV? Oh, I see. Adventist. KJV is not the only original Bible. Let me register that to you. KJV is not the only true Bible. All the versions are true. Amen? Amen. Now, let me say what I wanted to say. When you read the KJV, you discover that verse 4 is there, and it says, an angel of the Lord came down and steered up the waters. But in NIV, verse 4 is not there. And in ESV, verse 4 is not there. And there's a reason. It has a theological argument. Let's read verse 4 together. The Bible says, for an angel of the Lord went down at certain seasons in the pool and steered up the water. Whosoever then first stepped in the water was healed. Now, the theology there is first come, first save. But God does not work like that. There's no one who runs fast who will receive the prize. With God, everyone is equal in salvation. So when they did research more on the ancient Greek, they had discovered that that word was not in the original manuscript. Therefore, in the modern versions, they've removed verse 4 because it has some theological arguments. And the argument is that God does not work on the first is the best. No. When you come to church first doesn't mean that you have the right of heaven. No. When you come to church, that does not mean that you guaranteed for salvation. So hence, they have removed the verse to say God works at his own time. Now, there was a pool there. It is believed that, and this is a traditional thing that they had, the pool was built there in Jerusalem. Scholars say It was built on a place where there were so many minerals. And the earth, when it is hot, it will bring up heat. And once that heat comes, it will cause bubbles in the pool. So all those porches which were there, because of where they were built, when it is so hot, it will bring up heat and there will be bubbles. And whosoever had a problem would jump in, and others felt good. And they said, there is healing. I've not registered, I know. I'll register that in your mind soon. They believed that there was healing, and they moved with that. And scholars, when they were writing the scripture, they got that idea and placed it in scripture that there is healing in the water. Now, brothers and sisters, Jesus came, I said, your focus should be on verse 6. This man is at the pool of Bethsaida. And Jesus says to him, do you want healing? The Bible says Jesus knew that that man was there for long. When you look at the question does not make sense. Because Jesus knows how long you've been struggling. Jesus knows how long you've been crying. And when he appears, you don't expect him to give you a question to say, how long have you been here? You expect him to do a miracle, Brother Moab. This man was there longer. It was even older than Jesus. The man started getting sick before Jesus was born. Because the Bible says Jesus died at which year? Huh? And how old was he? How old was he? How old was he? Eh? You don't even know how old Jesus was when he was dying. Eh? Jesus was 33 years. And remember that he's standing right there where this man was, who was sick for how old? 38. So the man was sick before Jesus was born. But the Bible says Jesus knew that this man was there for long. The problem is this, brothers and sisters. Jesus came at the pool. And when Jesus asked this man a question, the man says, listen to the question. Listen to the question. When Jesus saw him laying there and knew that he had been there a long time in that condition, he said to him, do you wish to get well? The man answered, sir, I have no man to put me in the pool. And the title is, I can't do this alone. I can't do this alone. The man was asked, do you want healing? The man says, I have no one. The issue is that this man had a problem. And the problem that he had, he trusted in men rather than trusting in God. The man was there for a long time. He trusted in what God used than trusting in God who uses the things that he was trusting in. We have a problem in our Christian journey. We have a problem in our lives. We have trusted more on the things that God uses to heal us than trusting him who provides healing. Many of us have focused more on people. There's Corona. Corona has come, and it's real. Many have focused more on government than focusing on Jesus. Many have focused more on what Trump would say to the countries of Africa than focusing on Jesus. Many have focused on poor when Christ has come. This guy, the Bible says, he trusted in the poor. Because even when Jesus was asking him a question, do you want healing? Jesus knew. But this man wanted healing. He knew that he had been there for long. And he asked him a question, do you want healing? The man said, sir, I have no one. I don't know if you can read the passage with that mind. Do you want healing? Sir, I have no one. You've heard that this man coming, you can see the cloud, that this man is a guy that has healed the lame. He's a man that has given sight to the blind. He's a man that has resurrected people. And he comes right in your face and he says, do you want healing? And you say, sir, I have no one. Do you want employment? Sir, in that company, I have no one. Do you want marriage? Sir, I have no mother. Do you want healing, Brother Moaba? Sir, I have no one. Jesus is saying, I want you to shift your attention from the poor and from the people and put it on me, because I have come. Now read the Bible, brothers and sisters. The Bible says, the man answered him, sir, I have no man to put me into the pool. Jesus said to him, get up, pick your mat, and walk. Jesus healed this man, not because of his faith, Brother Moab. There's no faith in the passage. The man didn't even know who Jesus was. You didn't get it. It's not that you come to church, Sister Emma, that you receive what God has designed in your life. It is Him who gives at His appropriate time. This man didn't know Jesus, the Bible says. Because even when he was asked, who told you pick up the mat and walk, he said, I don't know him. Until when he met him in the temple. What am I trying to say? Brothers and sisters, it's not how long you've been in the church that God will bless you. It's not how early you come to church that God will bless you. God will only give you at His time. Because God's time is the best. God is saying this morning, shift your attention from people. Don't look at Elder Lombe. Don't look at Elder Moaba. Don't look at Elder Njapeni. Look at me. Because I am the one who's going to give. Now, 38 years, this man was there. 38 years. And 38 years is not a joke. In 2 weeks, 2 weeks, but 1 week, but 38 years, this man was sick. I want to tell you that no matter how long it will take, when Jesus comes, that's the right time. As Jesus permitted him to be there for 38 years for a purpose. Jesus permitted it for that man to get sick for 38 years for a purpose. Remember, when Jesus met him in the temple, he said, be careful. Be careful not to sin again, because worse will happen on you. Now, the one that created knew at what time this man would be so useful to be used. You didn't get that one. God knows at what time, because he created. He knows at the right time you are supposed to be where he wants you to be. It's not you to push things. When this man had tried everything, he went to sit at the pool of Bethesda so that he can get healing. But Jesus does not work like that. Brothers and sisters, at a time that God appointed, you shall be healed. At a time that God appointed, you shall receive what you've been praying for. Don't look at how long it has taken. But when Jesus is there. Now, there's something in the passage. There's something in the passage. Jesus says, do you want healing? The man answered, I have no one. Jesus is there. And there's something that this man is looking at. Then he starts to evaluate which one is more powerful. Is it this guy or what I have been trusting on? Maybe he has come to also help me. That's why he's asking. Let me tell him to say, I have no one. Maybe this man will feel pity for me and wait for the troubling of the water. This man focused on that. But Jesus came to say, change your focus. So today, I have in your mind, brothers and sisters, that we focused on these health regulations that we've been given. We've concentrated much on washing. Concentrated much on face masking. We've concentrated much on social distancing. Many are distancing themselves from their friends, but they are failing to distance themselves from sin. Many are face masking themselves because of the fear of the droplets, but they are failing to put on the face of Jesus. I've come to say, brothers and sisters, we are washing our hands in every shop we walk in, but we are failing to wash in the blood of Jesus. Jesus is saying, focus on the pool. I have come because I am the great healer. Shift your attention. Look at me. I know how long you've been there. I know how long will Corona be with you. But all I want that in this era of Corona, I want you to focus on me. Because I'm the one that is going to say, take up the mat and walk. Amen. Others will look at you and say, but it is on the Sabbath. I want to tell you that others will be a stumbling block to your destination. But Jesus has said it on your life and move on. Yes, others will come and say, no, it is on the Sabbath. Why should you move with your mat? Tell them, the one that said, stand up and pick up the mat and walk, is the one who has authority. Now they wanted to know, who is this man who will do this even on the Sabbath? The Bible says, and when this man, now, you've missed something. Jesus said something to this man. Take up the bed and walk. And this man, Brother Moab, didn't know who Jesus was. And Jesus did not look at the faith. Jesus, the Bible says, in the words that he said, when he looked at him, he said, take up. In your mind, you should picture that Jesus moved with compassion. Because he looked at this man, how helpless he was. He looked at this man, he had no faith. And he's trusting in something that will bring nothing to him. He was moved with compassion. Now, when you read in the New Testament, Jesus moving with compassion, there are 9 instances that Jesus, the Bible says, he was moved with pity. Not that you are a church goer. Not that you have done something special. But because of his grace, he moves with pity when he looks at you, trusting in something that will bring no help to your life. He says, take up your mat and walk. Many of us have succeeded. Not that you did that, but it's because he was moved with compassion. He said, maybe let me just allow them to have it. Then they will know me later. And when he finds you, now he gives you a warning to say, don't sin again, or worse things will happen to you. Jesus has healed your life. Not that we have done good things to deserve that. It's all because of his grace. Look at what you have done. You've been crying day in, day out. Lord, I have no one. For sure, there's no one who is going to come to your head. Only him, who knows the right time when things are right. Because he's omniscient. He knows the end from the beginning. He knows your future. And he knows that others will push you here and there. But he has a destiny for you. Like in the story of this man, Jesus said, take up your mat and walk. And when this man was in the temple, and Jesus said what he said to him, then he knew that it was Jesus. And because of that, Jesus is persecuted. The Jews persecuted Jesus because of the good works. Brothers and sisters, there are people that persecutes you because of the good works. There are people that will castigate you because of the good works. But if Jesus has said it, no one will change it. The answer was, my Father works even now. So I am working even now. That is true. My Father has not stopped working, Brother Moore. Yes. Even when you are in sin, God is still working in his gracious way to keep you safe. Even when we are in much stupidity that we go in, God still works to sustain us. And Jesus says, no one can stop me. Even now, I'm working. There's corona, no corona. Jesus is working. People may die. Yes, brothers and sisters, you must know this. When time has come for you to die, you have done your purpose. If God has allowed your child to die, you have done your purpose. My father is dead. He did his purpose. My sister is dead. She did her purpose. So Jesus says, even in this time where men are trusting in doctors, they are waiting for WHO to say something. But if you catch sticker, I want to tell you, my brother and my sister, that Jesus is working even now. Move on. Move on. Move on. Shift your attention from the pool. Because there's no healing in the pool. It is just a myth. There's no healing in what you have believed. Believe in the one that uses those channels that you are thinking there's healing. There's no healing in the hips. Healing is in Jesus. Amen. Don't trust in what is healing you. Trust in the one that heals you, and that one is Jesus. Amen. Don't trust in your husband. Trust in one that gave you that husband. Don't trust in your job. Trust him that gave you that job. And that person is Jesus. And this is the man I'm introducing to you this afternoon. That is here now. And he's saying, do you want to get healed? Don't look at Moab. Don't look at Mumba. Look at him, because he has come. 38 years is a long time, but when Jesus is in, it's like a day. Don't look at how long you've been there. You've tried everything. I said, people that went to Bethsaida are desperate people that had tried everything and they had no hope. They were hopeless, luckless, nothing to do. So they were just waiting for what they don't know. But he has come in your life because you still have a purpose. Stand up at your feet now and say to him, I'm here. I want him, if you mean it. Right now. If you mean it and you say, God, I have heard the question. Yeah. My response is that, Lord, I want to trust in you. Amen. In this pool, there's nothing. Yes, I trusted in that boyfriend for that, but he has done disappointments in my life. My mom, I trusted this, but she did disappointments. So I'm saying, God, now I'm registering that I want you. And he's going to tell you that my Father is working even up to now. Yes. So I work also even up to now. Amen. If you mean it, my brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, may God bless you. And may you focus now on Jesus. Can't do this alone. I can only do it with Jesus. Because he's the one who gives me strength. He's the one who encourages me every day. So with Jesus, yes, I can. Without him, I can do nothing. This should be your prayer. And this should be your goal. That with Jesus, yes, we can. But without Jesus, nothing we can do. We are praying, God in heaven, see your children are standing. Saying a lot of things to you because you, just like you did to that man at the pool of Bethsaida. You knew that he had been there in that condition for a very long time. You know the conditions that we are in. Undergone. You know, Heavenly Father, right now where we are standing, what is in our mind. So we are saying, Lord, with this question that you've asked, we are responding in faith to say, God, we want healing because it's going to come from you. Heavenly Father, are you going to do a miracle? Will you do a miracle in our lives? Please, Lord. We are opening our hearts now. That the working of grace in you, may it work in us, dear God, now in the name of Jesus. We've had this problem.
This man was sick for 38 years. 38 years he could not walk. 38 years he could not even do anything by himself. He was dependent on people. And we've depended on people for long. Lord, now we are saying, may we depend on you for the rest of our lives. Can you hear us? A miracle of grace. You are still waking even now. So work a miracle in our lives is our sincere prayer. As we surrender our lives to you. In Jesus. Amen. Amen. Oh, when God bless you.